A linguistic earthquake has sent tremors from Manila to London. Scholars at Cambridge have made a startling discovery. The English spoken in the Philippines today echoes the language of Shakespeare more than modern British English does. This revelation challenges everything we thought we knew about how languages evolve. Filipino English, once dismissed as a mere offshoot, is now seen as a living museum, preserving the courtliness, lyricism, and emotional depth of centuries past. The discovery began as a footnote in Professor James Whitaker's research, but quickly became headline news. It forced linguists to ask, what if the truest echo of Shakespeare's tongue is not in England, but in Manila's bustling streets? For decades, Filipino English was seen as derivative, a lesser version of British or American English. Whitaker's findings turned that notion upside down. Filipino English is not a copy, but a vibrant, living record of the language's soul. It has preserved warmth and humanity that some argue have faded from its British counterpart. The implications are immense, sparking conversations from university halls to everyday life. Professor Whitaker's journey to the Philippines began as a routine research trip. What he found would redefine the story of English itself. Professor Whitaker arrived in Manila, expecting to document a hybrid of American English and local dialects. He spent his first days in university halls, noting American idioms and Spanish loanwords. Nothing surprising. But everything changed in a crowded cafe. When he asked for directions, the reply was warm and formal, almost theatrical. This moment sparked his curiosity. Whitaker began listening more closely to everyday conversations. He heard the constant use of sir and ma'am. He realized he wasn't just studying a dialect, but a philosophy of communication built on respect and empathy. Filipino English was a living testament to a different way of connecting. Whitaker's first revelation came in a Philippine university literature class. He expected students to struggle with Shakespeare, but their English was melodic and emotionally open. One student, Isabel, analyzed Juliet's soliloquy with heartfelt sincerity. After class, Dr. Reyes explained, "For us, English is a language of aspiration and emotion." Whitaker realized Filipino English was a vessel for respect and emotional honesty. The experience left him astonished and inspired, a living echo of a more expressive past. On Dr. Reyes's advice, Whitaker attended a church service in Manila. The priest's English was eloquent, ornate, and rich with metaphor, more performance than mere speech. Whitaker, not a religious man, was captivated by the language's emotional power. The sermon echoed the great orators of the 17th century, blending intellect with deep feeling. Afterward, parishioners exchanged words of gratitude and blessing, not as empty formality, but as genuine rituals of respect. Whitaker realized that, in the Philippines, English was reserved for life's most significant moments: worship, law, love. This preserved a sense of occasion and emotional weight lost in everyday British English. The language thrived in sacred and serious spaces, keeping alive the expressive spirit of an older English. Here, English was the language of the soul. Whitaker's theory solidified. Filipino English was a living link to the past. It was in these moments of community and faith that the language's true heart was revealed. The experience deepened his appreciation for the culture's emotional openness. He saw that language, at its best, is a vessel for the heart. Back in his hotel, Whitaker compared London's English to Manila's. London's English was efficient, ironic, and individualistic. Politeness implied, not expressed. In contrast, Filipino English was relational, prioritizing the other person's feelings and needs. A simple request became an act of service and respect. Whitaker listed the differences: British English, direct, concise, individual-focused; Filipino English, lyrical, sincere, community-focused. "I will try my best, sir," was a humble promise, not doubt. The British, "I'll get it done," asserted self-reliance. Filipino English built relationships. British English asserted independence. The comparison revealed how language reflects culture. Filipino English had been woven into the nation's fabric, preserving qualities Britain had shed. The language was not just learned, but lived. Whitaker saw that English in the Philippines was a bridge, connecting people, not just conveying information. The Shakespearean connection grew stronger as Whitaker studied his transcripts. Filipinos often used sentence inversions for emphasis, a hallmark of Elizabethan English. "So beautiful the sunset is," mirrored Shakespeare's own rhetorical style. He noticed a love for copiousness, layered words to express a single idea, just as in Renaissance rhetoric. Respectful titles like Sir and Ma'am echoed the social hierarchies of Shakespeare's time. Status was encoded in language, just as it had been centuries ago. The most striking parallel was sincerity. Shakespeare's characters spoke from the heart, so did Filipinos. Where modern British culture prized emotional reserve, Filipino English embraced open expression. The language was a vehicle for the heart, as it had been for the bard. Whitaker realized he was witnessing a living, breathing echo of Shakespearean English. The past was alive in the Philippines, not as nostalgia, but as daily reality. The discovery was as poetic as it was profound. Whitaker's research became personal. He saw that Filipino English's politeness and emotional openness were not quirks, but reflections of core values. A conversation with his driver, Rico, revealed the depth of this sincerity. "Oh, sir, my family is my treasure," Rico said, voice thick with emotion. Such heartfelt declarations were rare in England, but natural here. Whitaker saw this openness everywhere, in shopkeepers' gratitude, in colleagues' caring questions. The language reinforced social bonds, making people feel seen and valued. He wrote, "We in Britain hide sincerity behind wit. Here, sincerity is the default." Filipino English preserved the ability to speak from the heart without fear. Whitaker's academic quest became a journey of rediscovering empathy. He realized that language could be a tool for connection, not just communication. The English spoken here was a reminder of what his own culture had lost. It was a lesson in the power of respect and emotional honesty. Whitaker was no longer just a scholar. He was a student of humanity. The language had changed him. Whitaker's findings sparked immediate debate. In Britain, many dismissed his work as romanticizing a post-colonial dialect. Critics argued he confused politeness with antiquity, but younger linguists and literary scholars saw merit, organizing symposiums to discuss his thesis. In the Philippines, the reaction was overwhelmingly positive. For years, Filipinos had been told their English was wrong. Now, a Cambridge scholar called it a precious vessel of history. Newspapers celebrated our English, the language of Shakespeare's soul. Universities launched new courses on Philippine English as a rich, complex dialect. Filipino scholars felt vindicated. Whitaker's work gave them a new lens, affirming their language as a feature, not a flaw. The discovery boosted national pride and cultural confidence. Whitaker's journey did more than produce a groundbreaking paper. It held up a mirror to the English-speaking world. For Britons, it revealed what had been lost: courtliness, sincerity, and community. For Filipinos, it transformed linguistic insecurity into pride. Their English was not a flawed copy, but a unique, historically significant version. Schools began teaching Philippine English with new confidence. The story proved that language is a living organism, shaped by culture. In the Philippines, Elizabethan English found fertile ground, preserving qualities lost in the West. The archipelago became an accidental conservatory for Shakespeare's soul. Whitaker's work built a bridge, challenging the idea of one correct English. Filipino English now stands as a beacon, a living link to the past, and a vibrant expression of modern culture. The true measure of a language is its power to express the heart of its people.